Good evening, everyone. Welcome on YVTV, Yucca Valley TV. We are November 5. It's 6:01 p.m. and this is our very first show live. So thank you for tuning in and thank you for being with us. Yucca Valley TV is an online, local, free TV made in Yucca Valley and for the people residing in the high desert and for everybody who loves this place, this area, this place we all call home. My name is Matt, and tonight is our first show, the Yucca Valley Talk show. This is the first Yucca Valley Talk show, and we are live. This is the launch of Yucca Valley TV. Thank you for being with us. I can see there is already a few people with us, several people, so that's very cool. And we already have likes coming in from Facebook, so I'm really excited right now. This show is going to be about 45 minutes maximum, and the idea is to have a conversation with a local resident, someone from the area, or somebody connected to the area or with strong connections to the place here, to Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree, 29 Palms, and the Morongo Basin. This show is not about promotion, it's about the people. We want to take the time to talk with the guests. We want to take the time to dive into stories, and we hope you are going to discover some funny anecdotes, some cool stories. My guess is most of the people we're going to have in the show month after month, you're going to know them already. But my personal goal is kind of to break the ice and maybe succeed in having these people, these guests, telling you stuff and stories that even if you know them, you don't know. Our first guest tonight is going to be Valerie Meyer. You know her already because she's co-owning the Rainbow Stew, one of the shops in Yucca Valley, and we're going to welcome her right now.
Hello, Valerie. Hello. How are you?
How are you? Nice to have you.
I am doing well. How are you doing?
Right now, where are you?
I am in the healing room at Rainbow Stew.
Okay.
Sitting in here with
holding your phone like that. We see your hand. We see half of your hand.
Half of my. Oh God! You can tell I'm new to all of this. Okay.
It's gonna be fine. This is the first for everybody. That's much better. It's much better. So the show is going to be kind of two parts. The first part is going to be you and I. We're going to be talking. We're going to be discussing things we've already discussed, and I hope some things that are going to be new and surprising. This is going to be your show, basically. So you're going to tell me. And the second part of the show, we're going to take comments and questions. So if you have a question for Valerie, we're going to show you the number you can call right here. If you wanna send a text to this number, we are receiving text and we're gonna read them, and we're gonna have Valerie. If the text are nice, only we're gonna have Valerie answering the questions. You can also leave a comment on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, and we receive the comments here in the digital studio. We're gonna read them as long as we go in the show, and we're gonna pick the best comments and the best questions. So if you want to be part of the show, send a text or leave a comment, and we're gonna feed from that, and we hope we're gonna entertain each and every one of you. How are you feeling, Valerie?
Let me nervous.
Nervous? I gotta say, me too. A little bit. It's exciting to be starting a new TV in Yucca Valley, and I am very, very happy that you are the first guest.
Because, well, thank you very much.
I mean, the vibe and the spirit and the atmosphere that I feel when I'm around you, it's something always positive and reassuring. And just having the chance for me to spend almost an hour with you chatting, I think it's a blessing.
Well, thank you. As I told you before, I'm honored that you asked me to do this, to help you get this off the ground. And I was just honored that you asked me.
You
But
are
that
very,
doesn't
very
keep me from
welcome.
being nervous.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me where are you from originally? Where are you from?
I was born in Peoria, Illinois.
In Illinois. Okay, I've never been to
Yeah.
Illinois. How is it? Is it beautiful? Is it nice?
It's corn and farm country.
Corn and farm country. Okay.
Yeah, and it took me probably 40 years to even go back there after my dad and mom moved us to California.
Okay. So
All four of us, and then 5 children. So yeah.
the family and the 5 brothers and sisters moved to California. Where in California?
In the Eagle Rock, Los Angeles area, which is where I did most of my growing up in that area, in LA. Yeah.
You know what? Eagle Rock is one of the first places I've been in the US, actually. When I was still a tourist, we had an Airbnb in the Eagle Rock area, and it was before the rent and the housing market exploded completely in this place. Must have been nice to live around. How long did you live here?
I lived in the Los Angeles area from, I'm trying to remember, I think I was about 4 when we came to California, and I was there until I was about 14.
Okay.
And then my parents moved us to what they called the other high desert, which was the Victorville Apple Valley area.
Yeah, Victorville, which does not spell the same. Here we're the high desert with an H and I, and they are the high like HIJH, correct?
Yeah, my dad told us that he was moving us all to the country, and it wasn't exactly the idea of country that any of us had in mind. You know, we were looking for green hills and flowers and trees and things, but
Were you
fell in love with the high desert. Yeah.
Were you disappointed at the time, or was it a good surprise?
Yeah. Oh yes, and it was in the middle of summer, so I was also very hot. Okay.
Okay, maybe not the best time to arrive.
No.
And how did you growing up? How did you arrive? How did you move to Yucca Valley or to Joshua Tree? Because I believe you are in Joshua Tree.
Long story about, well, not a very long story, but it's
Go for it. We're here for that.
Story. My husband and I had decided that we didn't want to be 2 old people renting an apartment somewhere, and we wanted our own home. So he had never used his VA because he was in the Marines and he had been in Vietnam. So he told me that if I would do all the paperwork and do all the looking, he would be happy to follow along and look at what I had found. We were approved. I mean, we had a check in hand to spend, and we spent almost a year looking for a place. And a beautiful friend of mine said, because I was coming out here, because I had a couple of very dear friends who were out here in Joshua Tree. So I was coming out here quite often. And a friend of mine said, have you considered you're looking in the wrong place? So the next time I was out here, I stopped and got phone numbers off of 2 real estate signs, called both of them. That was on a Sunday. Called both of them. One of them responded. I told the woman exactly what we were looking for, how much money we had to spend. So she lined up like 4 different properties. We drove out here.
That was in the Morongo Basin?
Yes, right here in the high desert. We came out here on a Thursday afternoon. We looked at 4 properties, and we went home, discussed what we were going to do, made an offer Friday morning. And by it was either late Friday afternoon or the following Monday, we were in escrow.
Okay, so it came along. I mean, the stars kind of aligned.
It was, I mean, it was just, it was amazing. It was that quick, which, you know, when I share that story, there were certain things that my dear friend who said, "Are you looking in the wrong place?" had shared with me about what to look for. It had to be, I had to have land. I had to have a lot of square footage where I was going to
Mhm.
be, because we knew that we were going to be inviting people to come in the energy of spiritual work. My husband and I both knew that. And so she told me to look for, when I was looking at these properties, she said, look for the sun and the moon. So
Okay.
we were coming up Avalon, heading towards Landers, and I was in the back seat and I started reading the street signs. And all of a sudden I realized I'm reading Sun Aura, Sun Vista, Sun Way. And I
Yeah.
went, whoa, whoa. So now all I need is the moon. And lo and behold, there was Luna Mesa. So
Okay.
we knew it was the right property. Yeah.
And that's the place you still live at?
Oh yeah. I've been there
Okay. So
for
you found the right place to right
21
away at
years. Yeah, 21 years. So it's been a long time. It's
that.
been a very long time.
Okay. So you've been living in the area since, so you've been witnessing a lot of change
A lot
in
of
the
a lot
place,
of growth.
a
Hmm.
lot of
A
growth.
lot of
How
growth.
would you? What was your feeling when you arrived as a resident? What was your feeling of the area, the town, and did this feeling evolve? And is it different today? How do you feel about Yucca Valley and Joshua Tree and the place we live in?
Well, I love this high desert valley. I mean, I really, really do. I loved the other high desert when I was living there. Um, and I truly only left there because I could make more money down in the Orange County area while I was raising my daughter. Um, so when I had an opportunity to come back here and actually, you know, make this my place of residence, it was beautiful. I mean, I love the desert, and I love the energy of this particular valley. There is a really, really special energy in this valley. Um, I find, you know, the people here are, they're open, they're loving, they're friendly, they're
They are.
um, accepting, always, all walks, you know, whatever. I mean, it all works here. I mean, it all fits. So, um, yeah, I
And
just love it. I absolutely
you
love it
work,
here.
you talk about the energy, and you work with that. I mean, that's one of
Mhm.
the things you do. The
Yes.
energy of the people and the energy of everything that surrounds us. Basically, can you
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about that?
Well, getting into the energy, then when I talk about the energy, I'm talking about the energy of spirit that lives, that
Yep.
I believe lives in this valley. And um, because of the people who have lived in this valley before us, the indigenous ones, you know, who have been here. Sorry, my hand is in the way again. Um, but the indigenous ones who have been here for, you know, a very long time. I mean, they are still here, and we're trying to position this because I am using my friend's phone, and I think I'm back. I'm not sure.
It's good. It's okay.
um, so, so it's about the energy that already lives here in the land, in the earth, in the plants, um, and we who have lived here for quite a long time, finding that place of honoring that energy, respecting those who live here already and who were here a long, long time before any of us arrived here. Um, I love the coyotes. I love the sound of
Yeah.
them. I believe it or not, I love snakes.
No, a lot
Always
of people love snakes. A lot of people
always have
do.
a few of those. Yeah, always have a few of those up on the land. In fact, a friend of mine actually gave me a little poster several years ago that said snake breeding habitat that we posted. We posted at the house. Yeah, it's the beauty of it, and it's finding the beauty in what is natural and what is already here,
Yeah.
and not trying to make this valley something that it isn't. Stay
Just
away from
enjoy
planting.
what's
Yeah,
around us and find your own space.
exactly. Spread
In-
out. You can put your arms out. You can put your feet up. You don't need to plant a lawn out here. You need to honor the plants that grow well here and just keep that energy alive. So,
I got a question for you. So your name is Valerie Meyer, okay?
yeah.
But your email states Valerie Eagle Heart.
Yes.
What's the story behind that? Why did you choose that nickname for your email?
It is actually a name that was given to me because of the path that I follow. And I believe no matter what path you follow, is as long as you're walking it with a good heart and you're not harming anyone, including yourself, you find we are on a wheel, and there are all of these beautiful spokes that lead to the hub, which bring us home and brings us home to God, to Buddha, if that's your belief, or whatever your belief is, but it takes us back to source. And I was raised in the Catholic Church. I met a wonderful, wonderful teacher years ago who introduced me to native spirituality. And and I've had many teachers along the pathway, and that is the pathway that I follow.
Still today?
Still today, yes. And of course, I still love the Rosary out of the Catholic Church. I have a very special love of Our Lady of Guadalupe also. So, but following that, I was blessed to find a beautiful teacher in 1995, who guided me through a vision quest. And when I went out to spend my 3 days and my 3 nights on a mountain, that's the name that I heard when I was out there. Okay. So, yeah, so it's like a spirit or a blessing name.
Can we talk about this form of a spirit animal that would be connected to you in some way?
The eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I can't fly high enough, so I do my best, but I can't get quite high enough.
If you can fly, that's already good. I mean, I could use it right
now. So anyway, that's how the name came. That's how the name came. Yeah.
Let's start. It's not a game, but it's going to be a random series of 5 questions.
Uh-oh.
I have this. What do you call that?
I don't know. Is it a basket? It looks like a Hopi basket or something.
Yeah. I have this basket, and it's filled with 30 questions. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask you 30 questions. I'm going to ask you 5.
Thank you.
Some of the questions are very, very interesting. Some of the questions are very, very dumb. And I don't know what I'm going to pick, but that's kind of the name of the game. And we'll see. We'll see. Okay. First one. Okay, we start with a good one. Okay. So.
Oh, good.
So Valerie, you have a date in Yucca Valley, and you really want this to work. So it's a serious date. Okay. What place do you pick in Yucca Valley, 29 Palms, or Joshua Tree to go to the restaurant?
Pappy and Harriet's.
For a date?
For a date?
Yeah.
Well, that would be great because, they have music and great food, and
that's true.
I've done a lot of dancing up at Pappy and Harriet's. Not lately.
First date, we're gonna see you dancing. We're gonna see you eating the ribs and the rib eye, and that's gonna show who you are.
Right.
Okay. Second question. Oh, that's a romantic question. Okay. Do you prefer the desert sky at sunset or sunrise?
Sunrise.
Sunrise. Why is that? Because it's the beginning of the day.
New beginnings. Yeah, new beginnings.
Did you see the past week? We had some amazing sunsets and sunrise for a couple of days. It was just amazing.
The sky was glorious, glorious.
Glorious. Yeah. Absolutely. That's correct. Okay, next question. I'm not aware. Maybe, okay. How many email addresses do you use?
Personally, just one.
And professionally?
Just one.
So 2 in total?
Yeah, 2 in total. One for the shop and then one personal one. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds serious. I mean, I have dozens of email addresses. Maybe it's too much. Okay.
It takes too much time to check them. Too much time to check them.
I know. That's cool. Okay. What is the very last picture you took with your phone? You don't have to show us. You don't have to show us. Just
okay, Matt. You and I have talked. We are doing this with my business partner's phone.
Yeah.
Because I still carry an old flip-top cell phone.
Yeah, which a Star Trek.
You're right. So I've been asked often if it's a burner phone, right? Or it's referred to as the Star Trek phone.
Yeah. So maybe you're just a spy using a burner phone and naming it because you're in disguise.
I don't take pictures with my cell phone. Okay.
Okay. No picture.
But I don't even text, Matt. I don't text because it takes way too much time.
Last one.
Okay.
What is the last animal you touched? The last animal you petted?
My roommate's 19-year-old grandma kitty.
Okay, so it was not a snake.
Not a snake, no.
Okay. Okay, that was not challenging. That was not tricky. That was just nice questions. Five cool questions.
Yeah, your basket of questions. That's amazing.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the viewers? No, we have a few comments. So people, if you want to leave comments, feel free to do so. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, every comment you leave on these 3 platforms, we receive here. So you can just leave comments. You can ask a question to Valerie. And we're going to take a very quick break. And we're going to come back in a couple of minutes.
What part of Pasadena are you in?
Fucking ding waar ik helemaal dood.
Dit is café.
Fucking kapot, jongen. Echt waar. Lekker heel goed, man. Ja.
Here we are back live on Yucca Valley TV. This is the Yucca Valley Talk Show. We are with Valerie Meyer of the Rainbow Stew. I don't know if it's the right way to introduce you, by the way, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the Rainbow Stew. How
Sure.
did this adventure start? I know you are three women, three partners
Yes.
co-owning the
Yes.
shop and the store. How did this adventure start for you?
Well, several years ago, I connected up with one of my business partners in a very good way. And both of my business partners are actually 2 years younger than my own daughter. So I get to be a mom, and they don't listen to me, just like real children.
That's how it
Yes,
works.
I do. I'm joking. We have a very, very good
Relationship.
general partnership and good communication. Um, One of the dreams that I always had was, because I've always been very entrepreneurial. When I was 7 or 8 years old and my dad was working down on the flower mart in LA, um, he would come home with odds and ends of things. And I remember me talking my two of my brothers into putting ribbons on the mistletoe and going and knocking on the neighbors' doors and selling them mistletoe. Okay, so the entrepreneur thing in me started like when I was real little. I had a dream about doing exactly what we do here at Rainbow Stew. Um, a business that honors the artistic and creative energy, um, offering classes and workshops as soon as we're able to do that again. Um, but being way more than what it looks like on the surface, and helping people, which I really believe we do. So it's another, it's like finding the property and landers when my husband and I purchased that land. This is another one of those, you're in the right place and God points you in the right direction and everything just falls into place. My One of my business partners and I had said years ago, wow, one of these times we know we're going to open a business together. I had a very, very good friend when we got ready to do this. We had decided we were going to do online. And a very good friend of mine said, you're not supposed to do an online business, Valerie. You're supposed to do brick and mortar, put yourself out there, let people see who you are, and everything will be great. So the building that we are in now had actually been vacant for almost 3 years before we signed a lease on the building. And
Okay.
it's a very old building. I think the last addition in this building was done in 1947. We did the historical research on it. And so there's a lot of history with it and all the things that have been in here and out of here. So one of my business partners had come over to my house one evening, and it was like on a Wednesday, and she'd swung by and we were sharing a meal together. And we were talking about the brick and mortar and where would we find a building that was actually going to be workable, that we could afford. So she had actually stopped, I believe, and picked up the phone number for the leasing agent on this building. And it had been for lease for a while. So I said, oh, we've heard that the rent is way too high. We could never afford that, the blah, blah thing. So we
Yeah.
both looked at each other and went, let's just call the agent and see what happens. So we called the agent. We set up an appointment to come and see the building.
This is a
Went
building
back,
outside, inside, get a
outside,
feel.
inside, yeah, what needed to be done, because there was a lot of work that needed to be done in
Yeah.
here. And we went home. We talked it over. We knew who the third woman was going to be, because we had already been told by my good friend there needed to be one more woman. And by the end of the following week, we were sitting in the leasing agent's office, signing a 5-year lease with an option to renew for another 5 years for the rent that we could afford. Nothing about what we had heard this building was going for.
Okay.
But it's like when something is supposed to happen, My belief is that you're always pointed in the right direction. And when you get the head and the heart are in conflict, if you follow your heart, you're never going to go wrong. And that's what all three of us did with this. So,
It
there's
sounds
the
like,
magic of it. It's like boom, boom, boom. And there it was,
it sounds like in your life you met many situations in which you kind of followed your heart and just followed what you believed, what you felt was the right thing to do at the time,
Yes.
which is sounds beautiful. My question is, did it happen that sometimes the opposite happened to you? Like you felt something was wrong and you wanted to avoid it, or you felt that something was going in the wrong direction? Did you face these kind of situations?
Yes.
Can
Yes.
you do you have an example maybe if it pops to your mind?
Um, I'm going to, here we go with my husband's, Matt. You ready?
Okay, we've been joking when we've been
Right. When we joke, but it's no joke. When I married my second husband, yes, I've had three. I had to do it 3 times because third time was the charm. Okay.
third time the charm.
Charm. Yeah. But when I married my second husband, I had so many red flags about this man and I ignored them. I ignored all of the red flags. And the situation did not turn out very well at all. He was I'm going to say he was a very sad person. He was an alcoholic. He was not a nice person. And, the end result was when all of it was said and done, I needed to move and I needed to hide because he was coming after me. So
Really?
it
Wow.
was, yeah. I mean, it wasn't a good situation at all. And if I had followed that instinct that we all have and paid attention to the red flags, I never would have I never would have walked through those experiences. But
So if I may, what made you ignore the red flags? Were you kind of madly in love, or was it something
no,
that
no, I wasn't. I madly wanted to be connected with someone. I wanted to be in a relationship again. And I don't know. I sold myself out when I did that, is what I did. Because
that's
I
how
wanted
you
to.
feel today? But did you realize that at the time?
It took me a while to come to terms with that, about what I had done and to accept responsibility for my part in that relationship.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Right. And God bless my parents. My dad, and my mom and my dad showed up for that second wedding. And my dad actually asked me if I really, really wanted to do this. So he was feeling something as well.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Parents do. Most of the time, parents, they know without the need of saying words.
Well, but feeling that something was just not okay, And when I married my third husband, who was the charm, okay, we were friends for like 5 years before we got married, and then we ended up being married for 21 years.
Wow.
But when I married Rex, my third husband, my mom and my dad were at the wedding, and my dad told me, this one better work. Yeah, he said, this one better work. He said, because I'm not coming back to give you away again. He told me I was on my own. So, anyway,
that was the right one, and you stayed together till he passed away. And you had a full life with him. Can we tell that? Can we say that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we met our matches in each other.
Yeah,
we met our matches on all levels. It was great.
That's so important. When you find someone that you can really count on, and that someone can complete you and you can complete that person back. That's
Mhm.
just something, when you are lucky enough to be in that situation, you
Mhm.
know the difference, you feel the difference, and
Yes.
you just feel lucky about it. And I feel that's what happened to you. You met your match, and you it's almost like when you talked about it to me last time,
Mhm.
when we were chatting, it felt like you talk about it like if everything is a good memory within, even the bad moments, you talk about them in a way that's just beautiful. So I don't know. Am I right saying that?
Yes, you are right. I mean, and no relationship is ever easy. There's compromise and all of the beautiful things that are part of relationship, because we are in relationship in order to learn and grow. And when you find someone, when I say I met my match, what I know in that is he also met his.
Yeah.
Um, and we honored each other's way of being. Um, I honored what it was that he wanted to do and the things that he loved, and he honored everything that I chose to do. I mean, I think back on when I did that vision quest in 1995, and when I came back to the house of my teacher where we were going to be feasting, and he was standing in the driveway waiting for my teacher to bring me back. Um, he did not want me to do it because I was on the mountain by myself for 3 days and 3 nights, and he was very clear that he didn't want me to do it, but he supported me in doing it. And that's the important thing. When
Yeah,
we're able to put
absolutely.
aside our personal stuff and just be in support of our partner.
Yeah,
So yeah.
it's it's I like it. I mean, I could go on hours and hours just on that topic. We have a
Yes.
question from Debbie. Hi, Matt and Valerie. Very interesting show. Thank you, Debbie. Can you explain how you choose the name Rainbow Stew for your store?
Well, that's an easy one.
Okay, but it's an interesting one. I mean, I'm kind of jealous. I should have asked this question. Thank you, Debbie, for that.
Okay, well, that's an easy one to answer. Um, I have always been and still am a fan of Merle Haggard. And in about 1980, 81, Merle Haggard performed a song at the Anaheim, I believe it was at the Anaheim Stadium, called Rainbow Stew. And I
Okay.
fell in love with the song. And I thought, wow, if I ever open a business, I'm going to name it Rainbow Stew, because it just tells you it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But the thing that turned me on about that song that he did all those years ago, it talks about the environment, it talks about getting along, it talks about honoring each other. And a couple of the lines in the song are, when the worldwide war is over and done and the dream of peace comes true, we'll all be drinking free bubble up and eating that rainbow stew. So I love it.
I
When
think
we first,
we all want to be there right now.
right, I have to share with you the first year that we were open. Um, I talked my business partners into being in the Christmas, the light parade that they do here in Yucca Valley, the
Yeah, I
holiday
love
light
it. I
parade.
love it.
So it was raining and it was cold, and we had those of us who chose to ride in the wagon, which one of my business partners was pulling us along and had the truck and hooked up the trailer. And we played that song the entire time the parade was going on, from his truck. And of course, it drove everybody nuts, which
Because it was the
I
same
would
song
do
in the group.
over and over and over. So by the time the thing was done, we didn't want to hear the song anymore. Okay.
Makes sense. Yeah, we all
Right.
have something like that. Yeah, but that makes
Right.
sense. I mean, that was the name of the shop. There's a history to it. So you had to
You're
play the song.
right.
We have another question from Donna. Madam Valerie, very enjoyable, lovely program. Thank you. Definitely,
Thank you.
there is no question. Valerie is definitely the perfect choice as first guest, and I love Rainbow Stew too. Thank you, Donna.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Donna.
Donna.
You mentioned your three husbands, which brings us to. Yes, you
I
did.
knew it.
I didn't. I told you I did
Right.
it. That's your show. But I asked you, and I'm going to ask every guest to do the same, to find a picture, a personal photograph, and
Yeah.
to share it with us so we can discover a moment in time that was important to you or meaningful to you. So we're going to show the photo right here. Okay. So so that's you, and the other lady with the arm around you, that's your daughter.
That's my daughter.
And the small lady, that's your
Yeah,
granddaughter.
the little munchkin. Yeah, when she was a munchkin, that's my granddaughter, Brookie. Yeah.
Okay. What can you tell us about this picture?
It's interesting when you asked me to find a photo that meant something to me. I thought about all different kinds of photos, and I believe that I shared with you that my daughter died last year,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and I, am developing a good relationship with my granddaughter. They're up in my son-in-law and my granddaughter are in Washington State, which is, where they've lived since my granddaughter was about 2 years old. They moved out of California. And this particular picture, we were on the ferry. We had flown into, Rex and I had flown into Seattle, and we were on the ferry going over to the other side where my daughter and my son-in-law and granddaughter lived. I love this photograph because all of us were freezing. It was so cold. So you can see I'm all bundled up, and she's got the big heavy jacket on. And, of course, Brooklyn, being as young as she doesn't care whether she's got a jacket or not.
She really looks like she doesn't care.
Yeah, she doesn't care. I mean, she had her little doggy purse that she had with her, and I don't believe children know when they're cold. Because my daughter and I were freezing. But I just loved the energy of this photograph with my daughter's arm around my shoulder, and what a wonderful time we had when we were up there. We had a really, really good time, and shared good food together and shared stories. And little Brooklyn put on a song and dance show for us.
on the ferry?
No, she waited until we got home.
Okay.
Yeah, but it just brought back, this photograph really brought back some very, very good memories.
Good.
I am, in my personal belief, I feel like I need to share in my personal belief. And of course, it would have to be a perfect world. I don't believe that we're meant to outlive our children. And my daughter's death, of all of the things that I've moved through, my daughter's death has been one of the toughest things that I've moved through.
I'm very young myself. I don't have kids, but I know people who've been in that situation.
Yes.
Who lost the kids, and that just feel something abnormal.
Right.
Something that shouldn't be. And it's always, even some people in Yucca Valley told me similar stories about that. I didn't know it. I didn't know that regarding the picture, but you picked the picture, and that's a beautiful moment in time. And what's beautiful is what you get from the picture, what you remember from that moment, and what the photograph captured of that. So I think it's a good choice. I think it's a beautiful choice.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to take another short break, and then we're going to talk a little bit about cinema.
Okay.
You know, it was very much an experimentation. I mean, you have no idea how this boat is going to handle it. You have no idea what it's going to do when you get going 50 or 60 or 80 or 100. I had made the comment, you know, this boat would break the record, but not with my ass in it.
Bob and I developed and sailed what became the fastest sailing craft in the world.
It's built in a garage. It's built by two guys that were best friends, that were sailors as well.
We're trying to do something that hadn't been done before. We're trying to do something we had relatively little experience with.
Well, the iron duck is a steel frame.
Fiberglass, hardwood, and a bunch of parts off a few old Volvos.
And with no brakes, and all the joints are covered with duct tape. You know, the boat is old, I'm old.
Yeah, the legacy of the Iron Duck will not die. Continues on to this day.
We had a question. We had another question from Donna a little bit before, which was, Matt, Valerie, are you going to collaborate on any other movie or show? I think Donna referenced the movie Desert Prayer that you've been acting in. And maybe Donna references also the fact that I am a filmmaker myself. And I guess some of you may know that Oregon, my wife, and I also work on the Yucca Valley Film Festival. So that's a perfect segue for me. Thank you, Donna, for this question. Desert Prayer, that's a short film we had last year at the Yucca Valley Film Festival. The film actually won the Yucca Valley Award last year, the beautiful prize, shiny prize you came back home with. Can you tell us a little bit, how did it happen that you became an actress in a short film made in Yucca Valley home?
I am laughing out loud, Matt. I actually met Amelia and Brian.
Amelia, which is the director of the movie?
No, she was the star. Yes,
The
Amelia
star,
was
yeah, Amelia, with the beautiful hair. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I met them when they came into Rainbow Stew. They came in to inquire about leasing or renting props for a film that they were going to be doing.
Okay, prop master, like all the pieces of all the things you need in a movie. You have the costumes and you have all the props. That could be a prop. You need somebody who's married, so you need a wedding ring. You need a mug because in the scene he's drinking something. So that's all the props. And that movie had very specific needs in terms of props because the story itself is about, it's complicated. I mean, can you tell me what was it about in your words?
It was about waiting until the time was right. That was the whole energy of it. It was, things will bloom when the time is right. And the time is right when you're ready. When you're ready and you've done your work, you've done what you were supposed to do, what you've agreed to do. You can't rush things. You can't bring a plant that has a flower on it that really didn't bloom because you substituted it. Because things just don't work that way. It's about right timing, and
sometimes you have to respect the course of time, the course of time, so you can you have to leave things happen. Let's take a look at a clip, and then we're gonna keep talking about it.
Okay. wait for the flower, because it cannot bloom in a toxic root. It blooms when your heart is true and pure.
So the line is, the cactus cannot bloom if you are on a toxic root. So I guess the role they give you in that film really matched who you are in real life, does it?
Yes, it does. The result of them being in here that day and making some choices about different things they might be able to use in the movie. She contacted me afterwards and said, "Oh, we know the thing and we love you and blah, and would you consider being a part of," because she had been up to my land also for some prayer work, for a women's prayer retreat that we were doing. So I said, sure.
So they came in the shop for props,
Right.
looking for props for the movie, and they came back to get
And
you in the movie.
Yeah, because they wanted the energy of, they wanted the grandmother energy, and they wanted the energy of the kind of work that I do to be portrayed in this particular film. And the joke, of course, remember what I told you when you and I were talking, Matt, the other day, and I said, my head wants to say yes right now, but that would be the ego speaking. So, and I did the same thing with this. My response to them was, because I was communicating with her, I need to go home and I need to do what I call make a prayer, because it's about, it isn't just about, hi, I'm going to get to be in a movie. I mean, that isn't what it was about. It was about, here was a young woman who had been given an inspiration to do this film. She had told a story, given an inspiration to do the film, and it was a journey of healing for her personally. And I felt that in my heart, I knew that I was supposed to be a part of that, and to help her in fulfilling this inspiration and vision that she had been given. The funny part was, there are no lines, Valerie. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah, that's
So
how they sold it to you.
You're right. Yeah. Well, after they began, they were doing the editing and the thing, and she called me and she said, okay, you're probably going to say no, but we're doing the editing and we really feel that you should have some lines. So I told you what happened. I had 2 pages memorized. I'm very literal sometimes. I memorized everything from top to bottom. So the day that we went out to film, I had everything memorized, page 1 down to page 2, blah, blah. So we get out there and it was raining. So we couldn't do page 1. We had to move to the second half of page 3 or whatever it was. I could not remember those lines to save my life. So, but that was a big lesson for me too. Don't give me lines.
You learn the lines in a continuity, as the continuation. And when you shoot a film, you switch everything, because you're going to start with the first location and then you're going to move to another location. And if it's raining, you may do another scene, because you have to adjust all the time. And that kind of disrupted the way you've been approaching this.
Right.
But still, it's a funny story, it's a funny memory, and it's a very good film.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer
that clip that you showed, the clip that you showed when I was speaking,
Yeah.
Those are the lines that I couldn't remember.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
Yeah,
I picked the right perfect moment for you to
right.
talk about.
And Amelia finally, after the third time, Amelia finally went, "Oh, that's fine. You said exactly what I was thinking, but not exactly in the same way."
Yeah, just make it your own and just get the vibe and just
Right.
choose words that goes well with you.
Right.
So the question why was, are you going to collaborate on any of the movie? I'm going to rephrase a little bit the question. Would you be interested, Valerie, in making or participating as an actress in another film?
Okay, here's my response.
Response
I
is yes. I would like to say yes right now, but I have to make a prayer.
but I have to go make a prayer.
That's good. That's good. We are reaching the end of the show, and I start to really know you a little bit better. So I guess that's a good thing. Um, what about the community here in Yucca Valley? Um,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm still very new to town, but my first feeling, our first feeling when we arrived was the incredible support and the tight community you can meet here in Yucca Valley.
Mhm.
You don't know everyone, but you feel supported when you start new things. How would you describe that kind of special thing that we have here? Is it kind of the high desert spirit? Is it the fact that we are in the middle of nowhere, but still it's kind of a medium-sized town? How would you describe it?
I really feel that the energy here in this valley is still, I mean, in spite of all of the growth that has transpired since I've been here, we still have, I'm going to say, small town, small area
Feel.
values. Um, and it makes a huge difference. You're not, you know, if you're willing to, you know, get your toes wet and get out there and meet people, there are so many opportunities for places to go and the things to do where you're communicating with other people. There's so many opportunities for that. And when you allow yourself to do that, um, it gives that energy of community and support. And one of the things that we do here at Rainbow Stew, and this is, we're not bragging when we say this, we agreed that if there was something that a customer was asking for that we did not have, we were going to keep ourselves informed about which businesses in this valley just might have what that customer was looking for. So we've done all along, we've done referrals. And the beauty of it is that others do referrals to us.
And
I don't think you find that in what I call the big city energy. And I know there's pockets where there are, you know, the energy of community and brotherhood and
yeah,
sisterhood
yeah,
and all of
yeah.
that, but not like what you feel here.
I
Not like,
totally agree with you. I mean, you meet one person or you need a hand or you need something, and someone you know in the community is going to refer you to somebody else, and that somebody else is going to at some point refer you to somebody else for something completely different. And it's
right,
been 2 years we've been living here, and my contacts in my phone is literally filled with people that have been referred to me by somebody else who had been referred to me in the first place by. So it's kind of it's kind of growing, and
yeah,
this film really is something amazing, and it makes
right,
real difference when you are looking for balance in your life, when you're looking for something positive, good.
mhm,
I think you can really find it in Yucca Valley.
yes. But well, throughout this entire high desert valley, it's
Yeah.
that energy of, it's about looking out for one another. It's about taking care of each other. Um, I shared with you that my husband was in that near fatal accident out here on the highway,
Highway.
and the first people to come to my door with food were my neighbors. And I only have 3 neighbors out where I live where, and we all watch out for one another. We take care of each other. We check on each other. The electricity goes out, so we'll give a call and go, hey, are you all right in the dark, or do you need me to bring you a flashlight? So I think it's that energy of camaraderie also. Well, like I said, I love this valley. I absolutely love it here. So, and I'm very grateful to you, Matt, too, for, when you said you wanted to pop in and say hi and whatever. And I felt blessed that we had an opportunity to sit and talk that day, and which led
now.
us to be here. Right.
Yeah,
so thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for being the first guest. We started a little bit stressed out, and right now I could be going on hours and hours, but we have to stop at some point. It's been an hour already we've been talking, and I am really proud of one thing. It's everybody who tuned in tonight stayed until the end. And that means something, because nowadays it's so easy to turn to another channel, to change your focus to something else, to do one thing and then another thing. So to everybody who's been watching the first program, the first show, the first night of Yucca Valley TV, thank you, Valerie. Everybody, thank you for taking the time and for welcoming us to this community. And we're going to keep bringing some content. The next show we're going to have, if I'm correct, is tomorrow morning at 10 or 11 a.m. We're going to screen interviews. We're going to screen different things we've been teasing on our Facebook page. So is there anything, Valerie, you would like to add, or you would like to talk about before we wrap it up?
Just simply, everyone be kind to one another, love one another, watch out for each other, do your best to stay out of places of judgment. As our moms used to tell us, hold hands and stay together. Everything is going to be great. Everything is going to be fine. And, I truly believe this. God's hand is in everything. So we're all blessed and protected, and we're all loved by the source, by the divine source. And Matt, if you want to come by the shop again, I could tell you some more stories.
I will. With pleasure.
Okay.
Ready. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Keep tuning in on Yucca Valley TV. And next time, we want even more comments, even more questions. This talk show, the Yucca Valley Talk Show, is going to be every first Thursday of every month. So we're going to have every month a different guest, and every month we're going to take the time to talk and just discuss, because it's very much needed right now. And we want this space to be shared with each and every one of you. And that's why we open the comments and we open everything. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. And I don't know about you, but I got a heat right now.
Me too.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good night.
See you soon.
Waiting for the dawn again.